Welcome and thanks for joining me on today's podcast. So recently I had an opportunity to talk to this woman, and she confronted me with a very interesting question. And that's what I want to talk about today. So ladies, prepare yourself, listen up, because this is going to get really deep. So she said to me, Bishop, I don't know what else to do. I love my husband, but I just think he's just driving me crazy. I don't like his ways. I've been trying to tell him, what I like, what I want in this relationship, and I'm just frustrated, and I just don't know what to do. Any advice? So I listened to her carefully, and I wanted to make sure I carefully respond to her in a way that, one, she won't be offended, or number two, that she really get the message of what I'm trying to get across to her. So I responded this way by saying, I think you're trying to love your husband the way, watch this, the way you want him to love you, and you want this marriage to work perhaps just your way. Now, hold up before you throw something at me, and you might think that I missed the point of what the woman was trying to say. Let me explain to you why I said that to her. And I explained it to her. I said, you want your husband to love you the way you want to be loved. How many of you have said those words? Love me the way I want to be loved. I want you to embrace me and to accept me the way I want you to accept me. And while I understand the honesty and the sincerity, if you will, of that statement, that I think is an absolute wrong way of looking at the outlook of a relationship. A relationship should never be built on the love you desire. Wow. And I know I've heard it so often. Well, I've got standards and you got to love me this way. I want to be loved by this man or loved by this woman a certain way. Love me, with according to my checklist. If you do all those things, then I treat you right. But here's the question, a follow-up question, actually. What if your way of being loved is not correct? It's not proper. It's tainted, or it is just false hopes, or, what if it's just not the right thing for a woman or a man to be asking for? Because like this woman, after talking with her, I asked her, how do you want to be loved? Think about that. And maybe you need to ask yourself the question. And as you are watching and listening, maybe you just need to go ahead and comment. Come on, I want to hear back from you. How do you want to be loved? Come on, list it. How do you want to be loved? And I mean, this woman, she started listing, well, first of all, I want to be respected. Okay, I get that. And I totally agree with that. Every human being should be accepted. Well, listen carefully now. She wants to be respected. She said, I want him to hear me. Hello, hear me. Hear me. Sometimes I think he's tuning me out. And I just need to be heard, understood, recognized. And I mean, she started describing all those things of what she believes her love should be like, the love that she's going to receive. And then she said, I want intimacy. I want him to see that I want, and she just lists all of her wants. And I said, okay, all right, fine. But in talking with her, like I said, I laid out everything. I says, first of all those things, yeah, you deserve it, but you cannot try to get authentic love by forcing your demands on people. Then I switched it on her and I said to her, okay, do you respect your husband? Oh, I do. I do respect him. I said, okay, before you quickly answer, do you truly respect your husband? How do you talk to him? And she paused for a moment. I said, how do you talk to him? I was watching, it was a show on television. I forgot the name of the lady. She comes on the OWN station, Oprah Winfrey station. God, she's a therapist. Some name, first name starts with I. Ivana, or something like that. You all know who she is. So she was there and she was talking to a couple. And she asked the wife, because the wife was frustrated with the man, she asked the wife, go ahead, tell him in front of me, tell him your situation. It had to do with the guy's daughter or son, I believe it was, who's not hers, is creating a problem in the house. So Ivana, or whatever her name is, said, go and tell your husband your heart, how you feel. And she went, sat next to him, and she started out. Your daughter, or if it was your son, your child is doing this, and you need to stand up like a man, and you need to speak to your child, and you need to let them understand this is our home. And she went off and off and off. And Ivana had to say, stop for a moment. Stop. Come here, baby. Come sit over here. And Ivana switched seats with her and went into her seat next to her husband. And I'll never forget that. And Ivana just stroked her husband on the shoulder and say, hey. We need to talk about this. Your child is creating a problem. I'm paraphrasing a lot of stuff. Your child is creating a problem. And it's coming between us. And I don't think that's healthy for us. I'm here for you. And I just ask that you have a moment to talk to your child and perhaps get your child to understand where we're coming from. And again, it's not verbatim and so forth. Then Ivana looked at her and said, that's how you do it. See the difference? It's how you say things. Hello. It's how you say things. And I think people need to understand this. You cannot expect love to come back to you the way you desire when you yourself are not the giver of that same love you desire. Did you get that? You have to learn to not just say what you feel, but find the proper way of saying it. That you have to give respect, because obviously this woman was not respecting her husband because frustration, and maybe you're dating someone and you're frustrated with your fiance. It's normal. Trust me, if you can't handle it now, don't even walk down the aisle to get married. You don't even need to do that. We all are going to get frustrated at each other, but if you want respect, you have to give respect. And disrespect, by the way, doesn't always come in somebody cursing profanity at you and all those kinds of stuff. Disrespect can come in the form of not hearing a person, ignoring a person. Disrespect can violate in that person's desire or wish or agreement. Disrespect can be where you say things in a way that's very demanding and controlling. Come on now. So you, in your relationship, you have to begin to think, I know I have my wants, but is that really love? And as I continue talking to this woman, I say, look, you can't just demand love. you want the man to give you the love that you want. And in reality, you may not know really what you want, because what you want today may not be what you want tomorrow. Here's the point. You have to allow people to love you. Watch this. To love you with authentic love. Here's the big phrase now. The way they feel best capable of loving you. Oh. Some of you are messed up by social media. You're messed up by the tabloids. You're messed up by the media because you have allowed the media and people to define or redefine what love is for you. Because, here it is. You see certain things. You're watching The Young and the Restless, if it's still on. You're watching all of these TV series and these shows. You're watching all of them. And of course, Hollywood paints a picture, of course, love, dysfunction, lust and passion and all of those things. So if you're not careful, you see a couple who's in a movie, which is acting. It's not reality. It is acting. You go see that, and then you come into your relationship demanding what is not even a reality. Demanding what is not even a reality. Even when it comes to people's finances, do you know how many people mess up their lives trying to live what they see on the movie screen? Of course it looks, check this out. A woman comes out, leather pants, high heels, lace blouse, a leather bag, and walk out of this, Maserati. Let's use that, a black Maserati. Walk out of it and walk in slow motion. And, she's just whisking those hips, and she's moving and flashes her hair and so forth. So you see that now and you're like, wow, okay. Because, in the movie or, in the magazine or on social media, you see that, and she had 100 guys just coming at her, and she looks successful and wonderful and powerful and sassy woman. So here it is now. You go online immediately looking, where can I get these leather pants from? Okay, $500. Okay, it's amazing how creative you come. I'm going to get those pants, and you get them. All right, you get the heels, and you get the lace blouse and everything like that. And you go and you get the bag, and here it is. Oh, the one thing that's missing is the car. And you go out and you try to acquire these things. And by the way, you look at the mirror and it ain't come close to what you see on television or in the movies and so forth. But you did it anyway. And now you're forcing, watch this, you're forcing an image in your space that's really not you. The point is, we tend to try to craft our lives based on what we're influenced by. And that's why a lot of us are not authentic. That's why we don't have sustainable relationships, because we become the other person. We live the Hollywood life, and we demand people to love us the way we see on TV, we see in the media, we see on the movie screen, right? The way we see people, that's how we want. We want to live that kind of a life. And I don't believe any of you out there, and perhaps this is very healthy for someone, whether you're dating or you're in marriage, stop asking people to love you the way you want to be loved. And I know you probably have never heard of that before. See, that's selfishness. That's selfishness, because what if the person who you say you're truly in love with is incapable of loving you based on your definition of how you're to be loved? Now, I'm not talking about the love that every one of us, the general love that every one of us should have when it comes to the person we love or married to or we're dating. Love is love. If you say you love me, you love me, and you're going to love me unconditionally. You're going to love me with the love of 1 Corinthians 13. You're going to love me with that love. You know, it's not easily puffed up. You know, it's not. It doesn't seek its own. You're gonna love me that way. But when you add to that, okay, you have to love me the way I say I need to be loved. Because, and I hear that. Love, to me, love is serving. Love is serving the other person expecting nothing in return. Who does that? Who does that? Who serve expecting nothing in return? Your spouse, the opposite sex, you are loving that person, saying, I choose to love you, not necessarily, watch this, the way you desire to be loved, because your definition and expectation of love may be tainted. Maybe the way you want to be loved is the way you grew up, and that's not love. I'm going to love you by serving you, honoring you, respecting you. I'm going to love you even with the love. There are times I may have to say no to you. There are times I may have to say, I disagree. Now, just because I said no or I disagree doesn't mean that you don't love me, that I don't love you. No, it doesn't mean I still love you. In fact, I love you to the point where I says no. For example, your spouse or your fiance, they'll say, okay, can we go and we take out $1,000 and invest it in this project? Now, the spouse is saying, no, why should we do that? We're strapped already in our finances. I don't think we should take a risk and do that. No, I'm not in agreement with that. Now you're mad. You don't love me. See, that's manipulation. That's manipulation. Oh, you don't love me. Really? What that got to do with that? You don't love me. No, it's not that I don't love you. It's just that I disagree. And because I want to be of service to you, where I be the other adult in the room, where I then look at what you're not looking at and say, maybe this is going to push us further in debt. It is a bad decision. So I don't agree with that. Now, you may not like how I love you, but it's the best love because I am telling you, I'm protecting us. No, I don't think that is wise. For example, and lots of couples go through this. You go to your spouse and you say, I want to be intimate with you. Come on now, ladies, I want to be intimate with you. And the man all of a sudden, oh, so you don't love me. Now, I'm not saying to those ladies, now, if you're a woman and you're using your body as a weapon against a man, let me tell you something, baby, you are absolutely crazy. Whenever you get to the point where you start using your body, where you ticked at him, you mad at him, don't touch me, you are absolutely out of your mind. That's witchcraft. That's manipulation. Now, I'm not saying, of course, you're tired, you're exhausted, whatever, you're not in the mood. I get that. But you cannot be tired and in the mood 3 weeks, a month, 7 days. You can't be. It's just, it's your pride. It's your manipulation, right? It's a bad attitude. You can't do that, right? But a lot of men, for the women who sincerely not using their body as a weapon, they're just saying, okay, I just know, baby, not tonight, not today. When the man looks at his woman, his wife, and say, oh, so you don't love me, so you're not going to make love to me and so forth, that is selfish. That to me is misjudging your woman and not putting value on her. I'm not talking about the ones who do it now for ulterior reasons, right? I'm talking about a woman who genuinely, for the first time, just says, no, you cannot say, oh, you don't love me. Because to you, men, you're thinking that if the woman have sex with you, then that means she's really digging me. She loves me. That's a lie. A woman can have sex with a man and don't care nothing about him. Hello, talk to me here, sisters. I know you don't want to deal with this truth. A woman, I'm talking about Christian woman too. Now, it ain't right, but a Christian woman can have sex with a man and no intention of marrying him, no intention of a relationship with him, or if she's married to him, no intention of really saying, okay, I really wanted to do it. I love him. But no, no, no. That's it. Come on now. Hello. So it is very dangerous as a man to get to the place to say, she don't love me. No, that's manipulation. You can't force the woman to use your definition of love to say, okay, she loves me. Just like how, okay, here's the big one now. Here's the big one, ladies. All right. I know you were clapping and you were like, yeah, you made your comments. Tell it, Bishop. Okay, well, let me hit you with this one. Like men, there are men who are sincere, who, if they got $1, they'll give it to you. And a man doesn't have the money to give you, or if he chooses, this time I'm not going to give you. Oh, Lord, have mercy. He don't love me because he don't give me no money. He don't, you see, that's the kind of love that is messing up our world. It is a love give to get. I love you for you to love me back. What about the unconditional love? That, you know what, I'm going to love you. If both parties will say, I love you with all sincerity, and I do it expecting nothing in return. I mean, come on, that's the purest form of love. Purest form of love. But we have to get away from that stage because we are really bringing it to our kids. Our kids are watching us as adults behaving in a way that we're sending mixed messages to them, and wrong messages, by the way, about love. So they grow up and they repeat the same sense of love that they've picked up from us. And it's just a generation of transmission of bad information and behavior. And today, I want to encourage all of you sisters. Let me talk to you for just a moment, and then I'll get with the men. I want to encourage you, sisters. Now, you have a choice, ladies, and I know you say you're a man, you're going to talk. I get that. I get that. You can disregard what I'm saying. Go on, live your life your way, and do it your way. Let's see the end result of that. And listen to me. You are never complete as a woman. You're never complete as a woman in your own, self-preservation or righteousness, in being content with just your own thoughts. Like some woman will say, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody in my life. Don't need a man. Don't even need no girlfriend in my life. I'm fine. I'm cool. I just go to work. I pursue my goal. I work out. I do this. And the truth is, lots of women, they post stuff on social media. They do things. And again, they look successful and they're looking great and so forth. But in reality, if they would be honest, when reality sets in, they're unfulfilled. Unfulfilled. They're missing elements in their lives. So hear me well, ladies. What you need to do, redefine love based on the Word of God. Especially if you're a Christian, redefine love based on the Word of God. When you are desiring a man, what's the purpose of a man in your life? Are you wanting a man in your life just because society says you have to get married, or being married by a certain age, having children, having a house? All these things is the definition of success. Where do you all get that from? If you're going to walk by the Word of God, where in God's heaven in the Bible, it says that a woman has to be married by a certain time? Hello. Where does it say a man has to be married by a certain time? Where does it say a woman has to be married, has to have kids by a certain time? We do know stories in the Bible where women were barren and they couldn't have kids because society put the stigma on them that they couldn't bear a life, bring a life on the earth and so forth. But God never put any restrictions, never put any caps on anybody's life to say you have to get married by a certain time. And by doing so, you're walking in the righteousness of God. If you have a baby by a certain time, you're walking in the righteousness of God. Oh, if you buy a house by a certain time, if you start up a business by a certain time, watch this. If you get rich by a certain time, then you're in the perfect will of God. It's just society putting that pressure on us. And sadly, we take those pressure ourselves, and then we mess up people's lives with it because we have false expectations. So women, your job right now is to say to yourself, you know what? Okay, all right, let me, of course, say your desires. I want to get married. I want to have children. I want to do this. I want to do, but don't do it based on trying to prove a point. You don't need to. Because we've all, and even for me as a pastor, I'm telling you, spiritual leader, there was one time in my ministry where, of course, my definition based on what I saw around me of success was, okay, you're doing things big, and you're having these conferences, and having a packed place, and believe me, there was one. It used to stress me out. Even watch this. There's such a thing as gaining success and having it all the things you desire, and still feel unfulfilled. Because many of you watching, listening now, okay, you got the perfect job. You went to school. You got the degree, right? You did all the things you needed to do, right? You bought that outfit. You got the shoes. You spent $2,000 on a pair of shoes. God bless you. Not, discrediting you for that. That's fine. Absolutely. It is not a sin to buy a shoes for $2,000. It is not even a sin to buy a shoes for $1,000,000. It's not. Show me in the Bible where God will get at you for you to buy something you can afford. Hello. Now, if your light bill is due and you got obligations and you go buy, a $2,000 pair of shoes, hello. Now that's on you. But if you can't afford it, go ahead and help yourself, right? But don't allow the pressure of society to force you to think you got to buy it, you got to buy it, you got to do it to prove a point to be accepted by society. No. So ladies, I encourage you, love authentically and love expecting nothing in return. So if you're married, don't ask your husband to love you the way you want him to love you. Make sure and have a conversation with him about this. Do you understand the definition of love, babe? What is love to you? And if he gets it right, then you have to say to him, okay, love me that way. Love me in such a way where you don't get angry at me. You're easily forgive me because I got my mood swings. I got my attitude. Love me that way. Love me based on how you feel. Study me. And based on what my wants are, love me that way. I will not force you to love me your way. I'll do the same. Let me love you. You may be affectionate and you want a lot of time and cuddling and so forth. Maybe the guy, he doesn't mind the cuddling. I encourage every man to give his woman, what will comfort her, yes, and so forth. But let him love you authentically. Let him love you. The purest form of love is when you just let go, be exposed, be vulnerable, and let that person love you. Finally, brothers, here's my advice to you. All right. One of the reasons why I think many of us men fail at loving a woman correctly, is because two things. One, we don't really have a true sense of what love is. And number two, we allow the emotions of women to set the temperature of the day for us. Because, women are different. Oh, God, they are completely different. We can't understand how they think and so forth. You have to love her authentically your way, but at the same time making sure that the love that you give is also a love she can embrace. Like most women love conversation. Now, wait up before you ladies. Yes. Okay. Most women love conversation. However, brothers, let me be honest with you. Most women do not want frank and honest conversation. Their feelings get in the way. Yes, their feelings get in the way. A woman will come in front of you after looking at the mirror. Baby, baby, how do I look? How do I look? Tell me how to look. Does my stomach look flat? Do I look okay? And then you like, okay, yeah, but yeah, but that dress, no, that's not your style. Your belly's big in there. Ah, what? You crazy? That's a death sentence. She will kiss her teeth and walk out. And next thing you know, for a whole month, she put you in a sabbatical just because you told her the truth. I don't care how nice you put it. That was kind of cold what I said. Your belly's a little bit big. I understand that. Even if he said, but baby, I just think it's for your tummy area. It doesn't, your tummy, somehow your tummy doesn't fit right there. I don't care how you say it. Most women don't want to hear the truth. Don't. They want you to tell you what they want you to tell you. So when a woman asks you, how does my hair look? If she doesn't think it looks well, she wants you to say it doesn't look well. If you say it looks well, she going, nah, I don't think it looks well. Then why did you ask the guy? Why did you ask the guy? If you think it doesn't look well, say, baby, what do you think? I don't think my hair looks well. If he said, I don't think it looks well, then what you should do next is say, yeah, I agree with you. Come on, do you feel what I'm saying? So, brothers, you have to understand, a woman, the day you figure her out, please come talk to the rest of us. She'll switch on you in a minute. Switch on you, and you better not switch on her. I'm telling the truth. Don't even you switch on her. Some of you are dating, and I know some of you brothers, you're like, oh, God, I don't know if I'm going to do the right thing because I can't deal with it. It's a woman's thing. Doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. It's a woman's thing. You just have to, and watch this, and a lot of women miss this. Do you know how many guys are so pure and sincere? They're not perfect, but they are sincere. They're genuine. And women miss that. There's a lot of women ended up with the wrong guy. Let's just put it that way, the wrong guy. All because the right guy was there and he was loving his way, his best self. But no, they were looking for a guy to love them their way. And trust me, there are counterfeits out there. There are guys out there who knows exactly what you want and will give you exactly what you want, but you'll never have exactly what you need. That's how I'm going to end it. That's a drop mic moment. Don't you ever love somebody the way you want them to love you. You love them in the best authentic way you can love them, and let them deal with that. Thanks for watching and listening. I ask that you make a comment today. Let me know if you're in agreement with what I said, whatever you disagree with, as long as it's said in a respectable manner, because I respected you. And I hope you do the same, that your motive is not just to blast and say stuff out there, just to hurt people's feelings and to you have a closed mind. Say what you got to say in a respectful manner, and we'll have a conversation about it. I'll see you next time. Thank you.